Why hello. This is about to be a review of Drake's album Scorpion. Yes, hi. A review of Scorpion is about to take place after I introduce myself. Welcome. My name is Chris. I am a co-host of a podcast you may have heard of or may not have heard of, called Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, where we do narrative and thematic deep dives, album by album, track by track, line by line of Kanye West, and it's the largest body of scholarly work on Kanye. So of course people are like, hello Chris, and I am like, hello people. And they say, we would like if you would please review other things and give context and insight into them. And I said, wow, interesting, thank you. I will do so. So this is me doing just that with Drake's Scorpion. And you should know that this will be the review that defines all other reviews. This will be the seminal, critical deconstruction of this album that everybody else will refer to. This, here, now, happening, that you're listening to. So, wow, here we go. First, if you want to understand what Drake is doing on this album, then you need to understand what he says here. I hate when Drake raps, sings too much, is a pop artist, doesn't even write his own songs, took an L, didn't start from the bottom, is finished. I like Drake's older stuff, makes music for girls, thinks he's Jamaican, is an actor, changed anybody else over Drake. Yeah, we know. So he sent a message, and I am about to send a message with this review. Welcome to this review of Drake's Scorpion. I'm about to go track by track, giving the most insightful and constructive and illuminating review ever to happen for Drake's album Scorpion. I am Chris. So shall we do this? I think we shall. Here we go. Let us look at the tracks and begin this review. So here we are, and here we go. Survival. To understand the greatness of the track Survival, you must watch the movie Arrival. If you have not watched Arrival, then the song Survival, much like a language you have not learned, will escape you. But if you have watched Arrival, then Survival will make sense. Alternative movies you could watch are Fievel, An American Tail, or Fievel Goes West. Any three of those movies will make Survival worthwhile. Nonstop, the quality of Nonstop is up to each individual, depending on their relationship with their mom and pop. Keep that in mind, okay? Okay, thank you. Elevate. Have you ever seen Nikki Bella vape? That's the question. And if you have, then Elevate is a 10. And if you have not, then Elevate is an 8. So there's that. Emotionless. Emotionless. If you have weed lotion and you put it on your skin and you get so high that then you just keep squeezing the weed lotion bottle and weed lotion goes everywhere and makes a mess, that is the spiritual equivalent of what goes on with Emotionless and the highs that that song has, and the lows that that song has. So there are highs and lows in Emotionless, just like there are highs and lows in having weed lotion and making a mess. God's plan. God's plan. Do you have a friend named Bob? If you have a friend named Bob, then go up to your friend named Bob and say, Bob's land. This is Bob's land. And declare that for your friend Bob. And the smile on Bob's face or the frown, a smile or frown, is God's plan. Bob's land, God's plan. One and the same. And it's transcendent and unbelievable and incredible and undeniable. I'm upset. You have to ask yourself one question. What smells worse, a mime or a pup that's wet? If you know the answer to that, then you know the secret to best appreciating I'm upset. If you need an answer to that because you don't have a mime to smell or a pup that you can make wet and smell and decide which one is the smell that you think is the smell that you think and like, then I will tell you it is not the mime. Yes, I'm upset really captures that dynamic between the smell of a mime and the smell of a pup that's wet. Yes. 8 out of 10. It gave me a sense of asking myself the question, make out when? You know? You just ever ask that question? Make out when? Make out when? 8 out of 10. Yes. It's a befuddling song. It's a song that leaves you in this awkward position of romance, sensuality, but curiosity and questioning and confusion. Yes. All those things come up in 8 out of 10. Mob Ties reminded me of the time I was watching Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones on HBO, and Rob dies. Rob dies, that's a spoiler. Mob Ties. But it's a similar feeling to Rob's dying. The shock, the horror, the blood. Mob Ties involves all that same shock, horror, and blood. So much blood. Such rivers and streams of blood. Can't take a joke. God, this video is so bad. I'm so sorry. Can't take a joke. There are times where it made me want to dance. There are times where it made me want to bake. And there's times where it made me want to do coke. A range of emotions, very different emotions, though sometimes if you do coke, you want to dance. And sometimes if you do coke, it's much easier to bake, but the coke doesn't cause the cake to rise any faster than it would if you weren't using coke. But really, it means that you make the cake a little bit faster than if you weren't using coke. So that's the benefits of using coke when you're baking or when you're going to dance. So I've been told. I have never done coke. I can't take a joke. Sandra's Rose. I've been in a position before where I have had dandruff on my clothes, and that was an embarrassing experience. It was a emasculating experience. But Sandra's Rose is not like that. It is not like having dandruff on your clothes. Sandra's Rose is beautiful. Beautiful, not a snowy shoulder that causes you to cry and leave school early. Talk up. Do not put tacos in a cup. No, do not do that. A taco does not do well in a cup. And if you were to do so, the taco would be ruined by being placed in the cup. And Talk Up is not ruined by Jay-Z being on the track. In fact, Jay-Z being on the track, it makes it good. It makes it the opposite of putting a taco in a cup. It's more like leaving the taco in your hands and just eating it that way, rather than putting it in a cup and trying to eat it out of the cup. Yes, very much that. Is there more? Is there more? Have you ever watched a wizard playing a bear in a game of one-on-one in basketball, and there's only 1 point remaining, so they're trying very hard to score and win? If you've had that experience of watching a wizard and a bear playing basketball, trying to score, it's as bemusing and befuddling as the song Is There More? Because Is There More just left me befuddled and bemused and like watching a wizard and a bear. Peak. My one reaction to Peak was just going, eek, because it made me realize that what I have done in my life is meaningless and that I need to work harder. That's how good Drake was on Peak, that I just had to say eek and reevaluate my entire existence because it has been worthless. Summer games. There's a beauty to summer games that makes me think of a lion with its mane and makes me think of how it's a bummer that I will never have a mane. And what a great day it would be if I could grow a mane around my neck and look as glorious as a lion. But alas, that will never happen. So Summer Games is a emotionally devastating track. Jaded. I was once in a cage with Will Smith's son, Jaden, and that was a high-pressure situation in which we were diving with sharks, and Jaden tried to communicate to me through words, even though we were underwater, and that meant I had to give him my oxygen tank, which meant I could not breathe. Henceforth, I had to leave the cage that was surrounded by sharks, which was very scary. Yes, and I grew jaded of Jaden in that moment. So Jaded is a track that is both awe-inspiring, but also makes you realize that celebrities are normal people that make egregious mistakes in high-pressure situations. Nice for what? You, I do believe, have had the experience of falling down stairs, just bump, 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 right on your tailbone, all the way down, and getting horrible bruising on your tailbone, and then having to take Icy Hot and put that on your butt. That Icy Hot on the butt is soothing. Nice for what is soothing. Yes, yes. Nobody else will tell you that, but that is the truth that I tell you. Finesse. I ran into a preacher one day that said sin is best, and I said nay, 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 sin is not best. And he repeated sin is best. And I thought about it for 1 minute, and yes, yes, sin is best. And that was a lesson learned. And you learn lessons by listening to Finesse. It is a great track for that. Not a track that teaches you that sin is best, but its own treasures of knowledge. How long is this? 14 minutes? If anybody's still watching, oh my goodness, you are something special. I can't believe I'm still doing this. Anyway, Ratchet, happy birthday. I have once had to play catch with Randy Johnson, who threw mad heat. Ratchet, catch it, happy, mad heat, that kind of works. Birthday. But I missed the ball and it hit me in the head. And as I blacked out into unconsciousness, the earth did sway upon my falling over, having been hit in the head by the mad heat of Randy Johnson and my failing to catch it. That experience of blacking out through a concussive force is the equivalent of Ratchet Happy Birthday. That's how you feel. There was a day, that's an infamous day in stock market history, where cats had flooded New York, and that caused the Dow to reel. Really just stocks plummeted due to the cats. So that's how you feel. Is similar to the day that cats caused the Dow to reel. Just because that was a very hard day. A hard day for a lot of people. Fortunes were lost. And that's how you feel gets into a lot of the emotional nuance of financial pain, financial gain, and the pain that comes from gain sometimes, but also the pain of loss. So much loss. Blue tint. If you've ever eaten a new mint, not a mint that you find on the floor, not a mint that you had tried to eat before, but a new mint, that fresh burst of flavor in your mouth. Blue tint is a fresh burst that the music industry has never seen before. Incredible, beautiful. A tragedy in the sense that other artists have never come up with it and will forever judge their careers as a failure because of not having the new mint-like flavor that blue tint has. In my feelings, I must admit that my kin sigh at my dealings. They watch my YouTube channel and think that I have not achieved much in my life. And that is very sad to me, because I hold the world in my hand, much like Bob with his land. But my kin sighing at my dealings is very much me in my feelings. So the song In My Feelings was an emotional jolt, unlike many others that I have had while listening to music, as it really gets at a truth of the world, which is the sad state of my YouTube channel. Don't matter to me. I have one piece of advice that is real world advice that I think that you can cherish and keep with you. Don't fight an adder. If you're in the woods and you come across an adder, don't fight it. You won't win. Instead, you should say boo or go wee. Yes, It Don't Matter to Me is a similarly cautious tale of engaging with an adder, except in this case, the adder is not an adder, but is something else. But at the same time, you should not fight it. You should say boo or go wee. That's the attitude of Don't Matter to Me. After Dark, Banter Shark. Sharks do not banter. If you try bantering with sharks, it doesn't work. When I left the cage that Jaden Smith was in because I had to give him my oxygen tank, I tried to banter with the sharks because I thought it might save me from them eating me. And I did not have much oxygen in my lungs, so could not say much to them. So my banter with sharks did not go well. After Dark, as a song, went much better than Banter with Sharks. After Dark is a success where shark banter is not. Final Fantasy 5, why? Okay. You may have heard a collective Y, but spoken in German because South Korea scored a goal in the World Cup. Final, Y goal. Yeah, that kind of works. And then in Mexico, Germany having lost meant that the Mexican soccer team prevailed and moved on to the next round of soccer. And so in Mexico, people danced from the streets to the sea. Final Fantasy is a similar celebration, but also has the similar sadness of the Germans saying why, the South Koreans scoring the goal, and then all of Mexico celebrating from city to sea. Final Fantasy does that same thing, but in a song. March 14th. I have to admit something now. It is a very serious matter. It is a matter 21 minutes. I can't believe this is 21 minutes. If you're still watching at 21 minutes, oh my goodness, I need to send you money or something. But March 14, I must admit, cargo shorts are the core of my being. March 14 is also the core of this entire album, much like cargo shorts are mine. So March 14, to understand what it means, you just have to Scorpion everything. Scorpion everything. No. Yes. That's the review. I will now rate this song on a scale of 1 to 10, and it is a 0 out of 10 because it doesn't have Kanye. There's no Kanye on this entire album. So no, it's not good. It's a 0 out of 10.